would say the fact that at the end of the day, it's the one it's the reason why we get baptized. It's the reason why we get confirmed, because it brings us into that close unification with the person and the reason for our living and for our faith, right? It's like if you had a really, really good family member or somebody whom you love who died, what the pain that we feel mostly comes from the fact that we can never be reunited with that person in the same way. And so the primacy and the focalness of the Eucharist is that it actually gives us everything that all the other sacraments, in a sense, could be able to give us, because it's Christ himself, you know. The baptism gives us an identity as children of God. Our confirmation makes us soldiers and be able to evangelize the world. But the Eucharist, in a sense, it's like the epitome of the reason for everything that we're doing is contained in that host, is contained in that wine. And so we get so much grace from receiving the Eucharist and from not receiving the Eucharist, vis-a-vis all the other sacraments. Though you need like baptism and confirmation in order to receive the Eucharist, that is true, but the sanctifying grace from the Eucharist is immensely powerful. And that's why even there are so many saints who've talked about just the mere beauty and essence, grace and strength that comes from consuming the Eucharist at Mass, as well as even just praying in front of the Blessed Sacrament. Right? Because we're actually in the presence of an all-powerful God, and then we have him inside us. So even some saints have said it's like for those few moments where we have Christ inside us, for those 10 to 15 minutes, we are possibly like the holiest of holiest. I remember even one priest making a joke that just to emphasize the fact that it's not good to consume our Lord at Mass and then walk out immediately, because so he has this joke that sometimes people would, some kids would go and take candles from the tabernacle and follow people who are walking out of Mass with the Eucharist, because they actually contain Christ inside them, yet they were unaware that they were almost like walking tabernacles. Like that's how transformative those few minutes when we consume our Lord can be. And which is also why the Church teaches that it's really good to take care of that time of thanksgiving after consuming the Eucharist, not to just walk out of Mass immediately after that, but to take time to talk to our Lord in the Blessed Sacrament now inside us, because those are some of the holiest moments of that Mass.